You are listening to the Wear Wag Repeat podcast, the only show 100% dedicated to highlighting women in all areas of the pet industry. I'm your host and the founder of Wear Wag Repeat, Tori Mistick. I'm so excited to be talking to you today at the beginning of September because I am going to be sharing with you all of the exciting things that I have going on this month and that hopefully you can get involved with as well. I would love to hear what you have going on this September or throughout the end of the year because we're already talking about the end of the year here, which is just mind-blowing. This year has flown by for me, and I bet it has for you as well. So if you have something in your mind, reach out to me on Instagram at Wear Wag Repeat, or you can always email me, Tori at wearwagrepeat.com. I actually prefer talking over email than DMs because I'm always trying to kind of cut back on my social media app usage. Maybe you can relate to that as well. So on this episode, I'm going to be sharing with you all of the things I have going on this month and lots of things that you can get involved with. First off, I'll share a little personal update. I'll talk about what's going on in Wear Wag Repeat Society. I'll share with you who my expert interview is with this month. That episode will come out next week. I'm also going to be talking about 2 in-person conferences and live events that I am attending this fall, which I am so excited about. There's so many people I haven't seen in person in years or who I've never met in person that I'm really excited to connect with. So let's dive into it. Little personal update. This time of year is obviously it's back to school. I mean, it's back to school for pretty much everyone, but I just love this feeling of this time of year. The weather is changing. It to me, it feels almost like a new year. I don't know. I've been saying for a long time that January 1st to me doesn't feel like a new year. Like I'm tired. I've spent all my money at the holidays. It's not exciting and fun to me January 1st, but I love like the first day of spring when the seasons change or the beginning of September when the seasons change. To me, this really feels like the world is our oyster and anything could happen. And there is a lot of exciting stuff going on in the next few months. So it really does feel that way to me. When I was growing up, I loved shopping for school supplies. I loved getting the fresh pencils, the like mechanical pencils. Those were very coveted, and new just like binders and notebooks. And I put so much effort into like getting the notebook with the coolest cover on it, some sort of probably a chocolate lab or some sort of other like what's it called? Lisa Frank, some sort of cool notebook like that. And in my school, we always loved covering our textbooks, and it was not like an official competition, but I always felt like it was this like creative competition of who could cover their book with the coolest thing. And so I remember getting my textbooks in September and coming home and setting up on the kitchen table like this whole crafting station and covering my book in what I felt like was the most creative way. Never mind what was like actually in the book. I was really, really proud of how I had covered my book. So I don't even know if kids still do that. Do they even have textbooks, or is it all on iPads and laptops? I have no idea. Maybe you could reach out and let me know about that. But so this year, I'm not buying new school supplies. I'm not covering any textbooks, but my kind of back to school shopping this year has turned into shopping for quilting fabric. Because don't forget, guys, I'm super cool and hip and modern and I quilt. But this is seriously one of my favorite hobbies. And I think I like it so much because it's creative. I've always loved to do creative things. But sort of the tedious and repetitive nature of it, it really relaxes me and it takes my mind off everything else that I'm doing. And Bert is always right by my side while I am sewing and quilting. Lucy is holding down the fort, usually down by the front door or in the kitchen or something like that. But Bert is always by my side when I'm quilting, and I have a few projects that I'm really excited to work on. And in fact, I'm part of a local quilting guild, which is like a quilting club. And this weekend, we are having a sew day. So all Saturday, I will be taking my sewing machine over to a church basement across town and sitting there and sewing, cutting things, ironing things, and just kind of chatting with the women who are part of my quilt guild. It's really become one of my favorite hobbies, and I love being part of this group that gets together in person to do it. And you'll notice that's kind of a theme of getting together with other people in person. So let's dive into the business side of stuff, and we will get to that. Now, first up, in Wear Wag Repeat Society, this month is the September Blogging Challenge. It just kicked off this week, yesterday. If you're listening to this episode the day that it comes out, it kicked off yesterday. We had an amazing kickoff call, and a lot of my members set goals for their blog posts for this month. So how many blog posts do you want to write this month? And I created this awesome spreadsheet where we can all share our goals and keep each other accountable. So some people set a goal of writing one blog post, which is a solid goal. A blog post is a lot of work, and if you're going to do one, right, that's better than not doing anything at all. So a lot of people set a goal to write one blog post this month. I had one member who set a goal to write 30 blog posts this month. And I said, hey, we're starting this challenge on the 3rd of September. Do you want me to make it 27? And she said, no, I'll just double up on some days. So a huge shout out to Scarlett Rockwood of Fur Social. She's planning on writing 30 blog posts in the month of September. So that's really impressive, and I can't wait to see what she creates. I'm hosting a ton of co-working sessions this month. We're going to have one co-working session per week, and they're 2-hour blocks. So I'm personally really excited to focus in and get to work during those blocks and really focus on blogging. I'm not going to be checking my inbox, replying to emails, and doing all kind of other BS. I'm going to be really focusing on creating really valuable, helpful blog posts during that time, and I hope everyone else will be as well. So my goal, to keep myself accountable so that you know about it and I know about it, is to write 5 blog posts. Originally, my goal was 4, but I thought, I should really kind of push myself out of my comfort zone. And I encourage you, whenever you're setting goals, to push yourself a little bit more and reach so that you can achieve your dreams. Coming up also this month on the podcast, I have my expert interview of September, and it is Jessica Shipman. She is the Chief Operating Officer and Chief Marketing Officer of BlogPaws. Now, if you're not familiar with BlogPaws, they've been around for a long time, and they used to do these in-person conferences. And so this year, the BlogPaws team is bringing back in-person events. I don't think they're officially calling it a conference, but it is a 2-day event with panels and like TEDx style talks, and I'm really excited about it. Getting together with other people in person is just so inspiring. The talks that they put together, the speakers that they get. There's an amazing keynote speaker, which I'm really excited about, because at the last BlogPaws that I attended, the last big conference that I attended, it was actually 2017, which sounds like a really long time ago. But it was in 2017 in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and the keynote speaker at that conference inspired me to start this podcast. And here we are, episode 329, and I'm getting close to 200,000 downloads, and I've interviewed hundreds of women in the pet industry, and I got the little spark for that idea at BlogPaws conference in person back in 2017. So I think that the connections that you make, the ideas that you get by connecting with people in person, you can't beat that. But anyhow, what did I talk to Jessica about on the podcast? So I talked to her about how to keep your blog content organized so that you know what you've written about and what you need to write about so that it can be content that covers the most strategic topics for your business. I think a lot of times we get lost in thinking, oh, that would be a fun thing to write about. That would be fun. That would be fun to make. Oh, I should write about that. Oh, that thing happened to me. I should write about it. But what's really important is to make sure that you are covering the topics that you want to be known for out in the world or with potential customers. And so Jessica has really great advice about that. And what I love about my expert interviews that I do each month is that, this quarter in Q3, I've had 3 different experts talking to me about blogging. So I had Pamela Keniston back in July. I had Caitlin Brown from Sparkles and Sunshine blog in August. And this month I have Jessica Shipman. And all 3 of these women have given different advice that it's not like advice that goes against each other, but just everyone has a different approach and there's something to learn from everyone. So I'm really excited. This episode with Jessica comes out next Wednesday, September 11th. So please make sure you are subscribed to the Wear Wag Repeat podcast wherever you listen so you don't miss that interview. I was talking about it all day yesterday or all hour when I was on the call with my Wear Wag Repeat Society members because Jessica just had such great advice and she got me really fired up and excited about blogging. So I'm very excited to see her at this upcoming BlogPaws live event. So let me tell you about this event briefly here. Over 100 pet content creators, so that could be bloggers, vloggers, some influencers, will be attending this event. It's happening in Boulder, Colorado on November 15th and 16th. This is the event for pet-focused content creators to learn how to grow their businesses. I'm really excited because I am not just attending, but I am going to be speaking on a panel. And there's only 2 panels. So I feel very special and exclusive that I was chosen to be on one of the panels. I'm very flattered. Thank you, BlogPaws. The one that I'm speaking on is called Diversifying Success: Building a Sustainable Career as a Pet Content Creator. I'm going to be joined by Britt from the Cast Pack and some other online content creators who are experts at developing new income streams and diversifying their income streams so that they can continue to do their pet business online. So I'm really excited about that. I do have a code to get $30 off your registration. So that's a nice chunky discount. If you want to register for BlogPaws Live in Boulder, Colorado, I highly recommend it. BlogPaws is just, like I said, it's a special place in my heart, and it's going to be a really special group of people, and it's going to be something full of value packed. I think that sometimes there's so many different things that are going on and you go to it and it's kind of like a little bit of a letdown. This is not going to be that. This is probably going to over deliver and exceed your expectations because there's just going to be so many like-minded people in one room, and it's in a beautiful place. I've never been to Boulder, so I'm really excited to go there. I will put the registration link in the description for this episode, and it will also be in the description for the episode next week that comes out with Jessica, my interview with her. So I have a code for $30 off your registration. It is Tori30, but the link, it's an Eventbrite link, so it's not easy to say out loud. So I will just pop that in the description for this episode. Now, speaking of getting together with amazing, inspiring petpreneurs in person, I have another opportunity to do that happening this month. So Pet Sitter World is a conference hosted by Pet Sitters International, and it is happening in Niagara Falls, New York, later this month, September 19th through 21st. I went to this conference a couple of years ago when it was in Cleveland, Ohio. So if you're noticing, I live in Pittsburgh. Cleveland is driving distance. Niagara Falls is driving distance. So I'm super excited to have these things happening not exactly in my backyard, but like in my region so that I can attend them. Pet Sitter World is an awesome conference. I'm really loving these sort of smaller events. I'm not exactly sure how many people attend Pet Sitter World, but I would guess in the neighborhood of like 100 to 200 people, maybe. So similar size to what BlogPaws Live will be like in November. But I really love these sort of smaller events. Those big, massive, the largest trade show in North America, those kind of events, to me, they're really overwhelming and exhausting, and I don't feel like I get as many opportunities to talk one-on-one and really connect with people. So I really have decided that I like the smaller events. I think that they're just more enjoyable for me. So I'm really excited. Pet Sitter World is happening later this month on Friday, September 19th at this conference. I will be giving 2 sessions. So I'm so excited about this. Again, there's a small roster of speakers, so I'm just really flattered to have been selected by Pet Sitters International to be included as one of the speakers for this. So my first session, this is the first time I will be ever speaking on this topic in a setting like this, and it is called Mastering On-Camera Confidence, Engaging Pet Parents Through Social Media Videos. So I will be talking about how to be more confident to put yourself out there on short form videos, specifically on social media. It's so important to connect with your audience in that way and to kind of overcome that fear of putting yourself on camera. You can't connect with people if you're just a voiceless head or if you're always doing those lip syncing videos. You really need to, every once in a while at least, put yourself and your own voice and your own face on camera. Please, I beg of you. And if you're nervous about that and you're going to be at Pet Sitter World, make sure that you come to my sessions because I will give you tons of tips on how to feel confident and make recording your own videos totally easy, a total breeze. So that's session 1. Session 2 is something that is completely in my wheelhouse and I have talked about a lot before, and it is called Is an Online Course Right for Your Pet Business? Exploring the potential and possibilities. So this is really geared towards pet sitters and dog walkers because that's who is going to be at this conference, and talking about how they might be able to utilize an online course in their business. So I'm really excited about that. Again, it's kind of ties in with what I'll be doing at BlogPaws Live, which is diversifying your income streams. And I'm just really excited to be in this group with all these people in another beautiful place, Niagara Falls. So with all of this stuff going on, everything that I've mentioned, BlogPaws Live, Pet Sitter World, Wear Wag Repeat Society, even my quilting guild, are you noticing a little theme building up here? I'm doing a lot of in-person and virtual networking, but I'm doing a lot of in-person stuff with conferences and meetups and different events this fall. And I am so energized and excited about this. Now, I know that not everyone can make it to these in-person events. Sometimes they're really far away and it's expensive to fly and get a hotel and all this kind of stuff. But I gotta tell you, growing your circle, kind of growing the group of people that you connect with and that you know and who know you, collaborating and meeting new people, working with other pet businesses, all of this is essential to the continued growth of our businesses. You honestly just can't keep growing if you are inside an airless bubble. If you're always talking to the same 5 people, your business is not going to grow. So we really need to meet new people, to connect, to collaborate, and to network with each other. I know from doing 329 episodes of this podcast that women, especially in the pet industry, love to help each other, to support each other, and to connect with each other. So stay tuned. I will be sharing a very big announcement soon about free virtual petpreneur networking calls that I am hosting in Q4. There will be 3 big virtual events that I am hosting, and my goal for one of those calls is to get 100 petpreneurs in a virtual room together. Back at the beginning of the pandemic, I hosted an online workshop about how to grow your pet business online, and I had almost 200 people attend that Zoom call live. I had to upgrade my Zoom account so that all those people could attend the virtual event. And there was just so much like coming together and community around that. And I feel like we've all kind of have this Zoom fatigue, but I want to bring it back with a really exciting and impactful and meaningful series of events happening later this fall and into December. So please stay tuned for that. I want to make it easy for you to meet other people, to connect with other people. Maybe you can do business together, or maybe you'll discover a new blog or a new product that your pet would love. Who knows? These events are open to anyone and everyone who wants to attend them. I will be doing special features for Wear Wag Repeat Society members because they're really kind of my OG networking group. Sorry, I got real tongue-tied there, but Wear Wag Repeat Society will be open at the beginning of the quarter. So if you do want to be one of the featured people in my networking events, that will be open starting in October, at the beginning of October. So anyhow, stay tuned for that. Now, to wrap up this episode, since I am getting awfully tongue-tied here, even if you're not in Wear Wag Repeat Society, we are setting goals in there, and I want to encourage you to set goals for yourself this month. So everyone is making a blogging goal. It doesn't have to be a blogging goal. Maybe they're making a goal to make X amount of reels, or to send out so many podcast pitches to be a guest on someone's podcast. Whatever it is for you, please set a goal for September and try to make it a little bit of a reach. I guarantee you that you can do it. Next, stay tuned for an interview with Jessica Shipman of BlogPaws that is dropping next Wednesday. Make sure you're subscribed to the show so you don't miss it. You can also register for BlogPaws Live happening November 15th and 16th in Boulder, Colorado. I will put the link in the description. I am speaking on a panel there, and I would love to see you in person. Also, look out for my sessions at Pet Sitter World in Niagara Falls with Pet Sitters International. That conference is going on September 19th through the 21st. I will be speaking there on Friday the 19th. Registration is now closed for that event, I believe. So if you are going to be there, I'm excited to connect with you and meet with you. Please come up and say hi to me. And then finally, stay tuned for big virtual networking events coming up this fall. Now, that's a lot of stuff that I have going on. Of course, I still want to hear about what you have going on. So what I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, please reach out to me. Send me a DM at Wear Wag Repeat on Instagram, or shoot me an email, Tori@wearwagrepeat.com. You can always reach out to me. Tell me what's going on with you, what you're working on, and if you need help with anything. I'm always here to support you. Thanks again for listening to the Wear Wag Repeat podcast. I really appreciate that you listen to this show. I am getting very close to 200,000 downloads, and I wouldn't be there without you. So thank you so much. If you enjoy this show and have a few seconds of time and you can leave a review on whatever podcast app that you are listening on, I would appreciate that greatly. It'll help me reach that 200,000 download mark. And if there's anything else I can do for you, you know where to find me, wearwagrepeat.com. And I hope you have a really great week and happy September.